Well, it's early. It's about 5:30 in the morning. Today is the first day of March, the spring month. Hey, that's great. The days are starting to slowly get longer. Today, we're heading out early. The weatherman said it's going to be a clear morning. Hopefully, we're going to get some sunrise. We're going to go around the other side of the lake, or the Georgian Bay, more correctly, to an area called Craigleith, the shale rock community. From there, we want to photograph across the bay, the sunrise, the lighthouse, and the lake. I have no idea if that's going to work, but we're going to give it a try. Hey, it's Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's cold, about -12 this morning. I do have a hot coffee in the van for the ride. Let's go, and let's see what we can find today. Okay, the part about the lighthouse just didn't work. From the location I'm in, you cannot see the lighthouse from here. The lighthouse, if you can see this in the GoPro, is behind the group of trees and the point that's slightly to our right and of course straight ahead. You can start to see the orange-red glow as the sun approaches the horizon. Promises to be a beautiful sunset. So hey, looking across the frozen expanse of the lake of Georgian Bay and Georgian Bay, let's set up. Let's set up on the tripod. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can capture a reasonable sunrise image this morning. Let's get set up. It's a beautiful morning. Okay, so we're set up on the tripod. We have the Canon 5D Mark II today, and right now we're using the 24 to 70mm lens. No filters. Looking to the east, to the horizon. We're starting, there isn't pretty much any cloud at all. There's one smaller cloud on the horizon to the left. I'm going to turn the GoPro around. Maybe you can see what I'm looking at. There, just zoom that in a little bit. So you can maybe see the little kind of bank of cloud in the sky there reflecting some beautiful red color. I wish there was just a little bit more cloud on the horizon, but unfortunately to the east there is not. There's some beautiful looking sky to the north. In fact, as the sun rises and light filters through to the north, or runs along the horizon line, that's an area we want to also take a look at, is directly north of me here, because there could be some beautiful color there. So where I live here in Ontario, in central Ontario, right on the southern point of Georgian Bay and the Great Lakes, we don't particularly have any mountains. It tends to be rather flat. We do have some foothills leading into what we call Blue Mountain. The only reason we call it Blue Mountain, it's really just a big hill, but when all you have is a big hill, well, we tend to call that a mountain. But just take a look across the wide open expanse of frozen Georgian Bay. What a beautiful morning to be out here. Beautiful color in the sky. It's a cold, crisp morning, -16 degrees Celsius. Wow. But, as I said, today starts the beginning of the spring month. It's March the 1st today, and the weather will change. It will change quickly. Right now, yes, winter's very much still got its grip here in Ontario, and it won't let go. But a couple of weeks from now, we're going to start to see some major changes in our weather. And before you know it, it's going to be 90 degrees Celsius. It's going to be beautiful sunshine. This frozen expanse that we're looking at here, believe it or not, will be filled with boats and people swimming, people having fun. The water warms up to around 75, maybe 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and it becomes a summer playground. So hey, as I've mentioned before, if you watch other of my YouTube videos, we do have 4 distinct seasons here. In the winter time we get the polar Arctic, but in the summertime we get the tropical warmth of the Caribbean. It's absolutely perfect. hey, this sunrise is going to happen. Let's make sure we're ready for that. So take a look at the sunrise. Now peeking up from the horizon and the tree line, again, across this beautiful expanse of frozen lake. You know, it's generic, it's plain, there's no cloud in the sky whatsoever. The frozen lake makes it spectacular, it really does. Hey, doesn't really get any better. That color to the north, really starting to develop. We're going to be taking a closer look at that in a moment. ISO 100, f22, 1/30th of a second, 2-second timer. And there's my shot. You know what? We've got a shot of the sunrise. Absolutely beautiful. What a perfect day. So this morning, and at other times, we talked about the flatness of Ontario, but also the local ski hills that we have and what we call Blue Mountain. Now, this is what you can see behind me, or part of it. This is one of the many ski resorts that we have here on our very own Blue Mountain. Now, Blue Mountain, as I mentioned earlier this morning, it's really a hill. I think it extends about 300, maybe 400 meters from the ground, around, maybe 600 meters above sea level. And there's several of these ski areas all along the Blue Mountain Ridge. This one here is Georgian Peaks. There's Blue Mountain Ski Resorts. There's Osler Bluff, sorry. The Toronto Ski Club. Alpine ski resorts all along the ridge line here. I just thought I'd stop, grab a couple of handheld shots. You know what? Why? Well, we've talked about the ski hills before. First time we've actually taken a shot. Let's put one up so you can see it. It really is feeling cold this morning, but it's a beautiful, crisp morning. I stopped, got myself a cup of coffee. We're in my trusty van. So, from the ski hills here, let's kind of head up in the van to the top of the hills and travel throughout the foothills and the area known as Blue Mountain. And let's see what we can find. Let's see if we can find a nice landscape image. Yesterday we did get some fresh snow, but you know what? The weather at the bottom of the hills is totally different than the weather at the top. So let's take a look up there. Let's see what we can find. See if we can find a nice landscape image today. You know what? It's just a beautiful day to be out. Let's go. Well, before we go up into the hills, I wanted to make one more stop down by the water's edge of Georgian Bay. And what we can see here, if I can turn the GoPro around, is what we call the ice cliffs. Now, we're looking across Georgian Bay, and to my left you see ice cliffs. Now, this is just ice that's developed from the water crashing against the shoreline and freezing, and it builds and builds and builds throughout the winter. It's really quite interesting because, as I mentioned earlier, about 4 months or so from now, people will be swimming here. There'll be boats, there'll be children playing on their kayaks in the water. It's amazing how it changes so quickly. We're going to lay down low. We have a shadow by shadow here, so we're going to get down low. We're going to try to take or capture an image along this ice cliff, just handheld. See what we can do here. Feels really cold out here, windy out here. You may notice from my speech a little bit feeling the cold, but that's okay. Let's grab this handheld shot. So right now, we find ourselves on the outskirts of a beautiful forest with fresh snow on a blue sky day. Luckily, we have our snowshoes with us because we are going to enter this forest looking for some nice images of trees with maybe impact type snow along the trunks of the trees. Should be really quite nice. Hey, you know what? Let's go. Let's get in there. Wow, absolutely amazing. Now the snow in here is deep. Even with snowshoes, it's quite difficult going, but it's absolutely beautiful in here today. Just take a look around here. My goodness, absolutely stunning. Wow. Fresh snow up in the hills, in the forest. Man, doesn't get any better. Not today, anyhow. Wow. Okay, so I have no idea, but the chaos, the madness, the craziness, the intenseness of this forest, just 2, maybe 3 days after an horrendous storm that we had here. This forest tells so much of a story. The snow that's impacted on the branches and the trunks, the bark of the trees. It tells you the wind direction, it tells you where the snow came from. But in this case, excuse me, it was everywhere. It was wild. It was a crazy storm we had. Police, fire trucks, ambulance, all emergency services were all taken off the road. The storm was so bad. I'm thinking a panoramic shot. Panoramic shot, you might think. Is everything too close to me? Is it too chaotic? Is it too crazy? Well, in the words of the great English photographer and teacher, Mike Brown, let's try it and see. That's what Mike says. He says, let's try it and see, because unless we do, we won't really know, will we? We're set up on the tripod. Right now we have a focal length of about 35 mil. ISO 100. F8. Manual focus. Stabilization turned off. 2-second timer. There's my first shot. Move to the right. About a 30% of the image overlap. Second shot. Again. Move to the right. About a 30% overlap. 2-second timer. Third shot of the sequence. Move to the right. One more time. 30% overlap. 2-second timer. Fourth shot in the sequence. Move to the right. About a 30% overlap. Fifth shot in the sequence. And again. Sixth shot in the sequence. My goodness. Let's try one more. Seventh shot in the sequence. Crazy. One more. Eighth shot in the sequence. I have no idea. And probably, no, it probably won't work. If it did work, we'll pot it up right now for you to look at. Okay, back into horizontal or landscape configuration. One more shot. F9, ISO 100, 1/100th of a second. Nice. Let's do what we do. Let's go to one stop under, 1/160th of a second. Nice. Let's go to one stop over, 1/40th of a second. 3 images, possible HDR, lots of data. Hey, amazing. Let's carry on. Now, one little thing to think about. Quite often, when you're heading through the forest, which can stretch for literally hundreds and hundreds of miles, if not thousands, here in Ontario, it's such a big, big place. What about a compass? Well, I do carry a compass all the time with me in my bag. We do spend an awful lot of time out on some trails in the forest where there's no trails at all. We make our own trails 90% of the time. Today, we have fresh snow and beautiful sunshine. We don't need a compass today. We simply follow the tracks that we came in on. We can follow the tracks straight back out of this forest again. If we had heavy snow, then the tracks may get covered and the compass would come in a great deal of, I'll try that bit again. The compass would be a great deal of use to us. It would be very beneficial to have that then. But in this case, no. Don't need it. Beautiful day. Follow our trail straight back out again. Beautiful. Well, the sun has come up high in the sky. It's around 10:30, quarter to 11 now. This is going to end the photography for today. The air is super dry. There's not even a little bit of humidity in the air to help diffuse the light. It's very harsh. However, one kind of location I came across, and I've never been here before. So we're going to take our first image, 24mm focal length, f16, ISO 100, 2-second timer. There's my shot. I'm going to go to one stop over, 2-second timer. There's my shot. It's very hard to see the screen. It's so bright. But today I'm going to 2 stops over, 3rd shot. There it is. I'm going to one. Man, I wish I could stop doing that. I'm going to 1 stop under, take the shot. It's so bright, it's very difficult to see the screen. And 2 stops under, take my 5th shot in this HDR image. And I believe, okay, there it is. Fine. You know what? This would also make a very nice panoramic shot, but I just do not like the blue sky. I just do not like the plain blue sky. With that said, we're going to pack up from here. We're going to load the gear back into our trusty Montana van. We're going to head back to the studio. Of course, we're going to grab our coffee. We're going to download this information, these images, this data into Lightroom. We're going to see what images we can create from it. And you know what? Whatever images we get, we're going to sit back with that coffee and we're going to watch them right now. Thank you for watching my channel. Please subscribe, share, give me a like, leave a comment. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.